I guess in real life. Since I don't. Aha! We are alive, my dudes. Welcome. First, my dudes. Welcome. First, hold up real fast. Welcome. First, hold up real fast. Welcome. First, hold up real fast. And gotta link my stream to a friend.
We got a video down!
What happened? And why are you yelling? Yeah. But as usual, I'm guessing you guessed it. We're playing video games. Right after I invite my friend to the club. If he wants to, if he's trying to join. Also join my server at nope. You streamed like 5 seconds ago. You mean? I guess we're playing video games by ourselves. Hold.
Good night to you. Good night to me.
Merry Christmas! Yeah, that's right, I said it. What are you gonna do about it, atheists? Christmas carols are an integral part of creating the Christmas atmosphere. Okay, yes, I agree, it's annoying when radio stations play Christmas music directly after Halloween, but when December finally rolls around and Michael Bublé emerges from his cave, magic fills the air. And if you work in retail, you've probably already listened to every single Christmas song ever created. After many hours of research, I have found that there's 2 types of Christmas music. On one side, you have songs about Santa Claus, and on the other side, you have songs about Jesus. Isn't it funny that Santa is an anagram for Satan? Just something to think about. Christmas is easily the most sung about holiday. Halloween isn't even in a close second, but it's also the most diverse genre of music out there. You have songs like Away in a Manger and Silent Night that can put anyone to sleep, but under the same umbrella, you have Santa Baby and Christmas Don't Be Late by Alvin and the Chipmunks. I love Christmas carols, okay? It's one of the few good things left in this world that brings a smile to my face. But now I want to talk about the Christmas carols that don't make a lot of sense. Starting with the song Silent Night. Okay, sure, I've never given birth before, but I don't know if all is calm, all is bright is a good way to describe the process of childbirth. I get that it was Jesus and he's perfect, okay? But he's still a baby. Mary still had to go into labor. I don't know, I see all these nativity scenes with Jesus being the center of attention and Mary just off to the side with everyone else. But she just gave birth, you guys. Someone needs to build Mary her own manger to lay down in. Also, sleep in heavenly peace? Yeah, you're not gonna do that ever again. So the song Last Christmas is about when Taylor Swift gave someone her heart for Christmas, but then on December 26th, they re-gifted it to someone else. So then the very next year, she gave it to someone special. I don't know what the moral of that song is, but it could have been about any holiday. They just happened to break up the day after Christmas. Last Earth Day, I gave you my heart. See, that still works. Walking in a winter wonderland? I have a question. Who is Parson Brown? Why is the first thing he says when he comes to life, hey, are you kids married? No, man. But you can do the job when you're in town, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, Parson is a priest. He was asking, are you married? Because I'm a priest. I can marry you two. That's my job. Ah. Carol of the Bells? Now, I love this song, but honestly, I don't see how this counts as Christmas music. Have a holly jolly Christmas? What do you mean by kiss her once for me? Are you cheating on me? Baby, it's cold outside. Okay, now this one is extremely problematic. Why don't they just put a coat on? All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth, a hippopotamus, and you. I would not want to meet the person who made this Christmas list. Just saying. I'm getting nuttin' for Christmas. How did I not know about this song until just now? All right, how many Christmas songs can say they got a movie based off of them? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Yeah, it's classic. Frosty the Snowman? Yeah, good choice. The Little Drummer Boy got a movie? Okay, fine, yeah, I'll count that. I think you're all missing the real classical Christmas song. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. In the song, it's canon that Grandma died, but at least in the movie, Grandma lived. She just got kidnapped by Santa because he was trying to hide the evidence. You know, no witnesses. I hope they don't make a Baby It's Cold Outside movie. Just an hour and a half of people not putting on jackets. Anyways, I have to keep this video extremely short if I want to get it out by Christmas. I hope you all have a good holiday, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, you're missing out on some great carols and questionable morals.
Greetings, friends. Let's play a game. What if you download League of Legends right now? Start playing with it.
What's going on, Fortnite fans? My name is Luke the Notable, and in this video, we're going to be dropping into Tilted Towers 100 times. When I first set out to make this series, I wanted to get better at Fortnite, and I think dropping somewhere 100 times is one of the best ways to do that. And I mean, come on, what better location than Tilted Towers? So enjoy my frustration and agony, and prepare to watch me die, and then die again. I dropped Tilted Towers 100 times, and this is what happened. Let's start with a history lesson. Tilted Towers is arguably one of the most recognizable locations on the Fortnite map, and that's because it's literally the best. Tilted Towers has the potential to spawn around 40 loot chests every single game, and pretty much every other location in the game doesn't even come close. And for that reason, a ton of people come Tilted Towers literally every game, and because of the massive amount of people that drop into Tilted Towers, most games are going to end in a quick death if you're not careful. However, if you can rise above the rest and leave Tilted Towers with some of that plentiful loot, there's a good chance that you could win the rest of the game. Though I will say getting good at Tilted Towers does take some time. It's a very complex area, lots of different ways you can fight. But now you should have a little bit more context as to why Tilted Towers is a perfect place to come 100 times. So I think it's time for game number 1. Here we are, game number 1. Understand that I've gone to Tilted Towers before. This is by no means my first drop into Tilted Towers. Though there is something to be said about dropping somewhere 100 times. The consistency, the repetitiveness of it, it makes you better at that location, and I've never done that with Tilted Towers. In game 1, I dropped onto the taco stand, which doubles as an apartment building. People gotta work. Part of the process of getting better in these 100 drops is I'm learning all of the locations in Tilted Towers. It can be a massive advantage to know all of the locations of chest spawns, hot locations, everything like that. It's not a matter of opinion. You drop into Tilted Towers, you're gonna have to kill someone. So having good guns is going to help you. Oh, and keep in mind that there is literally always going to be another player. You're always going to get third-partied when you drop Tilted Towers. And in game number 1, not surprisingly, it ended in my death. The kill cam shows just why Tilted is so nasty. Look at this guy just sitting inside a building. He was popping shots, totally safe. Well, safe until this default noob erased him from existence. Game number 2 was a pretty hot bus. As you can tell, there's about 4 million people going to Tilted Towers. I dropped onto the basketball court. This is one of my go-to drops whenever I come to Tilted Towers. Sure, it doesn't have the best loot, but it's consistent. But remember, this is a hot bus in Tilted Towers, which means you have about 3 seconds to find a weapon before you're dead. Game 3, the bus was a little less absolutely terrible, so I dropped back into the basketball court. I like this place. Under the court, you can find up to 2 chests and some ground loot. It's rare you're going to leave here with soul-crushing loot, but a lot of times you're going to have good enough stuff for you to at least fight. Also, you always want to make sure to destroy these tables. They have great wood. If you destroy the tables and the trees out back, you can get at least 200. After a short looting session in the basketball court, I went around Tilted Towers looking for some easy kills. That's how you're going to get the most loot from dropping Tilted, is getting the loot from the other players in the match. There's no way you're going to be able to loot it all yourself. It's hard, but if you can be the last man standing, your loot will be absolutely supreme. Though in this match, someone set up a cheeky turret that killed me. It's Tilted, you gotta be ready for everything. Game 4, I dropped into the middle of the map. Deep down, I knew it wasn't a good idea, but I did it anyway. Dropping in the middle got me a gun, but it left me injured and without bandages, which led to my death. Game 5, I dropped on top of one of the 2 large buildings in Tilted Towers. These buildings have the most chests and ground loot. They are always the buildings you want to try to drop to if possible. But please do understand that these are highly, extremely, incredibly, severely, completely contested areas. Game 6 was another hot bus, so there were a lot of players going to the taller buildings, so I turned around and went to the L's. It's a great last-minute low drop if you miss the tall buildings. But be careful, up to 3 chests can spawn in this location, and that extra loot means more traffic. Luckily for me, I won the pistol duel. You know, for once in my life, it was kind of going okay. Things were looking up for me. It was a good day. So I left. You know, there's no need to stay in Tilted Towers that long. No one needs that much fighting in their life. If you have good loot, leave. That's why you came here. Though ironically, I did sprain my ankle on the way out. Oh, and I will say, once you get used to killing people in Tilted Towers, killing people in open combat's a lot easier. Though even after all these 100 drops, dying like this never gets easy. Game 7, I thought I had a perfect drop into C's, but it turns out that someone was way lower than me, so now in a panic I had to figure out where to go amongst all of these other players, and I ended up going to this little blue house here. It's one of those outskirt buildings in Tilted Towers, which are generally pretty good drops. Decent loot and better position for Tilted. But yeah, be careful, there's loot here, so there's gonna be people. After looting the blue house, I went down to the pawn shop. It's right next door. I killed this renegade raider. Just thought you might want to know. I didn't get enough loot to get out of the system, so I had to go back to the taqueria and do some murdering. Unfortunately, seemed like no matter how many of these guys I killed, none of them had anything much better than I did. Though I could tell that this guy, yeah, that guy probably had some decent stuff on him. Nah, some default picked it up, so I just left. A little bit sad. I don't know, man, Tilted's great for kills and all, but sometimes you leave with a good amount of kills. I have 5 kills. My loot isn't that great. I only have 125 total health. Thankfully though, Dusty Divot, it provided big time. This is actually sort of the first game where I'm leaving Tilted Towers with decent loot, full health, an okay loadout. My mats are still terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I tried to think of something funny to say. I think I'm just bad. Game 8, I had a pistol, but he had an SMG. Game 9 was actually great. I killed this player running away helplessly, which gave me some absolutely colossal loot. Yeah, purple scar, sawed off. I probably shouldn't have kept killing, but I did. No, seriously, killing that default didn't give me a single upgrade to my current loot. And I'm also on a little bit lower health. Like I said, I should have just ran away. I could hear a little scuffle, so I wanted to check it out. To my surprise, he had pretty much the same loot that I did. I killed him though. I got a minigun from that. A little bit better health. Worth it. I also killed this player with the sawed-off. Man, I miss this thing.
If you didn't know, I like the minigun. I like to kill people with it. I can smell the fear right before they're about to die.
I've said time and time again, having a minigun in the final circle is one of the best things to have. This player was so afraid to come out against my minigun that he moved slowly, got lost in the storm, and I won the game. getting a win in the first 10. Guys, I was feeling good. This is good for me. The poll on YouTube, which almost 100,000 people voted in, thought I'd only get 5 to 10, so we'll see if I can prove them wrong. Game 10 didn't go nearly as well, and honestly, Game 11 just hurts to think about. Game 12 was a little bit better. I dropped into the L's, found a pistol, and shot a default before he had a chance to do anything with his life. Oh, and this is just a general rule, never hide like this. If you hide, I know you're not good. I'm going to kill you. But just because I say don't hide doesn't mean you should run around on top of buildings like an idiot. See? Look what it got me. It hurts even worse because it was a default. I lived a little bit longer in Game 13, but not by much. Game 14, I dropped into the basketball court and didn't die instantly. It was pretty slow, even for tilted, so after getting some loot, I decided to just leave. Though I will say I waited a little bit too long, and when you do this, what can happen is you get caught up in a lot of fighting of people running outside of tilted towers. I don't know, I was doing my best to try to fight this bullseye. What am I supposed to do about a rocket coming in from the side? Whatever, I'm learning. Game 15, I dropped onto the clock tower in tilted towers. It can spawn up to 3 chests, but it is sort of a risky drop. I looted tilted towers and left in a reasonable amount of time, and also killed this John Wick for good measure. My guns were great, but I needed some healing items. Being on 125 HP is never a good thing. Luckily, I found a Calamity. Those are always pretty easy kills. But the sound of his screams attracted larger predators, and I soon became prey. Game 16 doesn't really exist. It's just more footage of the last guy that killed me. Then it cuts out. I call upon the ancient powers of the default noob. I dropped L's and found another default friend just trying to drink his juice box. Hey, decent loot, purple scar, blue pump, I even have a turret and full health. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. To be honest though, it doesn't really matter when you leave. You drop tilted, you're in the center every game. You're gonna run into some more fights. This one was a heartbreaker though. My perfect pump shot doesn't do any damage and this player walks away with just a couple of scars from my SMG. I was low health from that other fight, so I didn't last much longer. I was so vividly upset that I watched it back in the theater mode, and you can tell it just looks like I switched my pump and then switched back to my SMG without shooting. I don't know why the server would think I would do that, but it did. Yes! Yes, I am very mad. This was not lag, I'm just bad at the game. Game 19, I at least got this kill before dying myself. Game 20, I got a lot of kills in the early game, but most of them were guys that just had nothing to their name. Like this guy, why are you holding on with just every ounce of this man is trying to live? He had almost nothing. Oh, and by the way, I ended up dying. Yeah, no surprise there. The footage for Game 21 stutters a little bit, but it's okay. I don't live long. Game 22 was played in the food fight mode. Yeah, I dropped tilted towers still, it was just food fight. I do regret not playing this mode more when it was out. It was a great limited time mode. In this game we ended up losing, but I got 12 kills and still had a pretty good time. Game 23, there were a couple people, just a few going to tilted towers this time. That massive pile of loot in the middle of the street that people keep dying over looks good. I don't wanna talk about what happened. Game 24 doesn't exist. This is all I have. This is the file. Just John Wick on the loading screen. Entertainment! Game 25 though, yeah, I got some good stuff for this game. Just kidding, I'm dead. Game 26, the basketball court was contested by me and this carbide, or so I thought. There was also this pumpkin that tried to run in and kill me with the revolver, but I got her with the pistol after she tried to beat me to death. Awesome. A rough start and nothing to show for it. Don't you love tilted towers? Look at this loot. Oh, it's juicy. Just look at all that. You tell me you wouldn't run into the storm for that loot? Yeah, whatever. Probably wouldn't have won that game anyway. I'll spare you the gruesome details of Game 27. Let's just say there was quite a lot of killing, and I made out okay at the end. Considering how good my loot normally is when I drop tilted towers, having a purple shotgun, purple rifle, and rockets? Phew, I was OP. I left with probably the most hope I had ever had coming out of tilted towers. Yeah, but now it's time to fight outside of tilted towers. Fighting never stops when you drop here. I told you I had hope. Wasn't that a terrible mistake? I will say one thing. At this point, it's about Game 30. This is when I really started to kind of get a total feel of tilted towers. You need to drop here consecutively in order to learn it. There's so many different variables that go into every single drop that there's no way you're ever going to find a consistent strategy when going tilted. You got to play on the fly, which means you got to know these spots in and out, and dropping here consecutively helps with that a ton. Because if you don't know, you're going to be like this guy, getting shot in the back in the open. Even though I kind of got shot in the back in the open too, but I'm learning, I'm getting better. Though in Game 28, it's pretty easy to tell that my life was spinning out of control, and I eventually died. Pistol versus dynamite I get, that was a pretty easy one. He couldn't really hit me with anything, and the dynamite's easy to dodge, but pistol versus SMG, that's a little bit harder. Good thing this guy probably bought John Wick with V-Bucks. I don't know what he was doing right here. Once he did turn his brain on, the SMG came in handy, but I ended up killing him. I burrowed deep underground, just trying to get a chance to heal. Oh, dude, bro, loot was lit. Look at it. Look. Gray SMG, bro. 5 bandages, my man. Look at that metal, though. The metal. Despite my low health, my enemy was standing still. I probably should have killed that guy. Game 30, I dropped on the thickest building and farmed some materials. It worked pretty well until I fumbled with my weapons, then got sniped. Game 31, I was lucky and got pretty good stuff out of the basketball court alone. This default was the first person I ran into. He tried. Despite my awesome loot, it wasn't an easy game by far. There were some close calls. 3 people left, final circle. This guy had rockets, but also a nice soft head. 1 guy left, final circle. My health's a little low, but whatever. I got angel wings on. I feel like a god. I guess Risky Reels got a little too risky for me this time. He lived with 30 health. That's 1 bullet. Game 32, I dropped onto the tall brick building in Tilted Towers. It's one of the 2 largest buildings in the whole place, and you always want to try to go here first. There is loot, materials, chests all over these things. If you can conquer one of the towers, you're pretty set. With my superior loot, I conquered Tilted Towers easily, profiting along the way. After that, I pretty easily cruised into the endgame. 1v1, final circle. I fought well, but didn't block his rocket launcher. This gave him the confidence he needed to push me and win the game. Oh well, game 33 went much better. We destroyed this man's entire career and got a rocket launcher in the process. Getting a rocket launcher in Tilted Towers is probably the best thing you could get. My guns were great, so I killed quite a few more people. I used my rift to go a little bit too early. You want to pull this thing out at the last possible second. It's best then. I was stuck on the spire and was forced to manually move down. It's hard. Circle got small and I was forced to fight this whiplash. He got me with a rocket, but I turned around and got him with an equally strong pump shot. But pretty soon after, last guy put me in 2nd place where I belong. Game 34, it's Season 7 now, woohoo! And I got these for a video. Be patient. For the most part, at the start of Season 7, like most seasons, Tilted really didn't change much. It never really has. But of course, in Season 7, the entire sandbox changed around Tilted. My first game was pretty crazy. I hit a 1-2-3 on this Dark Bomber, but he turned around, built up a 1x1 with a trap, then I died. Game 35, the big buildings were a little bit busy, and I don't mess with that nonsense. But I dropped onto the basketball court, and in Season 7, there was a plentiful Christmas tree here. In this game, someone tried to take the loot, but he barricaded himself in this back closet, and I had stink grenades. I thought he was just gonna die peacefully, but he tried to fight. I put him down. Let's just skip to the end. It's been a while since I've gotten a win. I was in a tough spot. I definitely had one above me and one that I didn't know of. 3 people left in this final circle. I saw the last guy there and unloaded on him with my grenade launcher. Sometimes those things can get kind of lucky, and they did. 1 guy left and he got the first shot and pulled out his deagle, probably going for a cool win or something. And somehow I was able to dodge his shotgun blasts, evade the storm, and take him down for the victory. That was good. But I need more. I liked the basketball court before, but I loved it after the Christmas tree was added. Though I will say traffic definitely increased to the basketball court after the addition of the Christmas tree. I went north to Leaky Lake, where the kills are much easier. Not always, but you know, most of the time. Circle was closing and I was doing some pretty good damage, but I made a lot of noise, which alerted another player. He got the first shot, which is always a little bit tricky, and I died. The Christmas tree on the basketball court definitely attracted a lot more attention. Good thing this time it was just a default. I spent a good amount of time looting and found some decent stuff. There were also a couple houses in Pleasant Park completely untouched. This was one of my first encounters with the planes, and these things have been nerfed since day 1. They're very strong, and they're also very distracting. They allowed this guy to come and kill me. Game 38 is a real easy way to get out of Tilted Tower. Just to the north on this little plateau are 2 quad crashers. They're not generally contested, and you can use them to get very far away from Tilted Towers for some really nice position, depending on wherever the storm is. Really, I'm just looking for a guy like this, some guy hanging around in the outskirts with a ton of loot. 1v1, final circle, or square, you know, not gonna assume its shape, that's a little rude. Anyway, I had way more mats than the other guy, so I could come in exactly when I wanted to. And I finally broke in this tier 100 skin. I don't really need to say much with game 39. It was crazy. I didn't make it. Game 40, the circle was really far north, so I didn't really spend too much time in Tilted, and I moved north pretty quickly. I don't really know what this guy was trying to do, but it didn't work. Let's skip to the end again. 1v1, final rhombus. The other player has rockets, and I don't have any materials. It's not looking good for me. The other player should have just pushed me. I had so many healing items, I was able to get up to max HP pretty simply. I could tell by the way this guy was playing, he probably wasn't that good, and once I got my health up, I had all the confidence in the world to win this game pretty easily. Sorry about that one, Thug Life. How about a game with Toxic Trooper? Let's see what happens. I was doing pretty well, until I wasn't doing pretty well at all. Somehow, game 42 was worse. Objectively, not subjectively. I'd rather die by bullets than fall to my death. Game 43, I dropped onto the basketball court for a little bit more consistency. Of course, I got none of that, but I did get some kills. On foot, I ran all the way down to Frosty Flights to get a plane. They were still pretty new and I wanted to try them out. I only met a little resistance there. If you don't know about the planes, especially when they first came out, they were a great portal into the endgame. So in this game, I used the plane trained to conserve health, materials, ammo, everything, and make it to the final circle easily. I got the first shot, which sent the other player into a panic. On low health, he went for the quick launch pad, so I sprayed into the sky, hoping to just hit one bullet. I did. I won. Praise be to Toxic Trooper. Game 44 was pretty fun, showing off that red Ice King. Too bad this blue Ice King wanted a piece of me. Well, I'm glad at least we both bought it with V-Bucks. Game 45, I didn't have a gun or health insurance. The next game did not go as well. Game 48, I tried, I really did. Game 49, I saw a guy drinking a chug jug in the open. Why do people still do this? I made it pretty far in this game, but ironically died by a snipe. By a default. Maybe game 50 won't be as bad. It was! Here's a little tip, hold edit on a stair and unleash it to surprise your enemies in these buildings. I go north to Leaky Lake, or Loot Lake, whatever you want to call it. There's noobs there, all the time. I found a player trapped in the Shack of Shame. I had gas grenades, so this was perfect. Though by my surprise, instead of fleeing the Shack of Shame, he hopped in a turret and tried to take me down. I knew he wouldn't last long in there, so I just built up. Figured eventually he'd come out. He did, and I proceeded to miss pretty much every shot that I threw at him. Then he killed me. That one hurt a lot. So I watched him die. That one felt good. Thanks, whatever your name is even supposed to be. Game 52, I stayed in Tilted Towers far too long. And then I died. Game 53, I put up a huge fight even though I didn't have a shotgun. Game 54, I got the big tower, all to myself. This rarely happens, but when it does, you'll almost always be set up for some killer loot. And yeah, because of that, I pretty easily made it to the end game, but died going for the launch pad. Then in game 55, I died much quicker. Tilted's great for kills, but if you want to get wins, there's a certain way you gotta play it. First 30 seconds, you're looking for that shotgun, anything to kill a 100 health player. It really doesn't take much. Then just try to buff yourself, get a little comfortable, make sure you can fight at least fairly well. You don't want to just have one gun and go out and kill. Though I will say what lets me survive a little bit longer is I prioritize going for loot rather than kills. Here I found the pawn shop completely unlooted. I'd rather go for this than a kill in the middle of Tilted Towers, which might end up ending in my death. Also, Tilted was not in the first circle, so when the storm started to move, people were gonna start to move. And when that happens, yeah, it gets a little hot. And I found my survival went way up if I left before the great migration of Tilted Towers. I was even able to grab a plane in this match. So yeah, made it to the end game. This time it was in Wailing Woods, and if you have some strong mats, get above the tree's canopy. This reinforces your structure and can make you a little bit harder to hit. And from all the way up here, it's a little bit easier to locate the other players in the match. I did, and got the win. I just feel like the balance.
I remember when my father asked me to stay up all night to watch fireflies. I didn't want to, but he was right. It was the most magical thing I'd seen. My mother asked me to stay patient until the chickens got here. I just wanted to pull them out of their eggs and play. I was so glad I waited. This kid I knew asked me to stay on his team. We lost the game, but he became my best friend. And when I became a teenager, everyone kept telling me to stay. Stay focused, stay out of trouble, stay faithful. And all I could think of was the stress, the pressure, the expectations. The things I used to be excited about now seem nothing like I'd imagined. Pointless, heavy. And then people asked, "How are you?" And I said, "Fine." And people said, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And I said, "No." I tried to smile and hide my darkness. I remember waking up on my 17th birthday, wanting to end my life. Because I felt so much pain. Because I felt nothing. So I decided to tell others how I feel. Bring everything hidden into the light. Because I knew one of them could help. I remember my dad holding me. My mom and my sister. Now they ask me to stay around for another moment, for another agonizing week, month, even if I couldn't see that tomorrow will get better. And I realized that somewhere in between my new, dark existence and all those beautiful moments that I've experienced in the past, I forgot something. I didn't have to stay alone. The pain doesn't fully go away. It still takes many endless conversations, therapy, prayers, medication. But as time goes on, I choose to stay hopeful. I choose to stay. To experience small, simple things I love. To see new places, meet new people. To discover who I am. To be surprised. To be loved. You can choose to stay too.
Balance is a little bit off with Tilted Towers. The people here, they fight just too much. Too much for the loot that they have on them. This guy's life was not worth the loot he had. I guess neither was mine. I really thought I was alone in this game. You can't trust pandas. I should have heard this guy, but Tilted, it wears on you like nothing. It's just terrible. Game 60, I win his wick, for tradition. I'm not gonna show you my first kill. It didn't look that cool, but that one wasn't bad. From those 2 kills, I had look at this loot. Ugh. Also, by this time, I was getting pretty decent at flying these planes. I don't really know if they'll be around forever. I know they're getting nerfed all the time, at least right now, present day, when I'm making this video, so who knows what'll happen to planes. But I love them. I hope they stay. You know, I built a little makeshift hangar on the side of Polar Peak. It was fun. Obviously, that strategy didn't work, and I didn't hear him behind me. At least my trap did a little bit of damage to this player. Game 61, I got a pretty quick, easy kill, but then, you know, someone else had rockets. Game 62, I took a dive off the deep end. They tell you not to do that. I really should just stop trying for these tall buildings entirely. Game 64, I forgot to record, so it only shows the guy that killed me. A good old battle pass boy. In Game 65, you can see I'm working on the technique of trapping other players in. I'm not quite used to it yet, but a shotgun does just as well. Early Season 7, this middle building that constantly changes got a ton of wooden pallets that buffs... No! Game 67, I got 2 early kills for some lucky loot. I killed this guy too, but he didn't really have much on him. Sort of a waste of my time. Oh yeah, and I grabbed a plane. Sometimes the best thing for moving away from a bad storm. But be careful. Sometimes they'll kill you for no reason at all. Yeah, I don't know either. Game 68, I dropped onto the big tower, found a gun, and defended my property. There was a Calamity up there too. I thought she had just given up, but I guess she wanted to just go out on her own terms. Can we get an F in the chat? You know, for Lonely Lodge, this place had quite a lot of people. Game 69 was pretty chill, even for Tilted. But I could smell the stink of this Green Bay Packer all the way across the map. I had to kill him. And then just so you know, this is a pretty normal reaction when I stink somebody. I found this default in the house. He goes in the corner. Perfect time for the stink. He just hides in the corner, finds a nice quiet place to disintegrate into nothingness. Probably had a gray, maybe a green tack. Oh my, what is this? Oh, and I killed this guy too. I'm sure he was very upset. 3 in the final line segment's a little bit much for me. That extra guy always makes it a little bit wild. Got it down to a 1 versus 1, duel to the death. I had the weapons though, so I was ready. But not ready for him to literally jump right down in front of me. I rocketed him instinctively and killed myself. Ah! Game 70, I got okay stuff. At least full health, which is more than I normally get. I got lucky and was able to take some long shots on these 2 players fighting way in the distance on top of the spire on Salty Springs. I was able to kill both of them with the deagle. But then a plane booped me off the top. I won't show the end. It's pretty graphic. Again, Game 71, you can see I'm literally trying with all of my little heart to trap guys in. I want to learn how to do it well. But I didn't. Then died. In Game 72, I made it all the way to Salty Springs, but then choked harder than I ever have or ever will on this default. That's okay, because in Game 73, I took revenge on his default brethren. Oh yeah, and I killed this guy. This time there were 5 people in a pretty small circle. I ran out of materials and then got shot in the back. I did damage, but didn't make it. Game 74, best case scenario. Early kill for a ton of loot. Again, I'm in the 70s. We're doing a little bit better, but this time I still didn't win. What I mean by getting better is I'm dropping into Tilted Towers more often and surviving, unlike the start of this video. I know the layouts. I know how people push. Not as many things surprise me anymore. And with my knowledge, sometimes I even surprise other players. But yeah, still, despite my ability to fight in Tilted Towers, my knowledge of the area, once I have good loot, I'm gone. Like this guy, my 4th kill, wasted my time, didn't upgrade me at all. There were unlooted houses and shifty shafts. This armed me way better than any fight in Tilted. Hey, remember that floor thing I talked about? Doesn't just work in Tilted. There was quite a lot of fighting. My guns were great, but I was pretty low on mats and heals. Also, I fell pretty far. I didn't die though. I died when I didn't take cover while shielding, ya dummy. Game 76 was same old, left Tilted with some decent stuff and went to Leaky Lake for some easy kills. I had to run into the storm for the last guy, but I knew he had some good stuff. No one was looking, so I got to the safe circle the embarrassing way. Saved some stuff. Yeah, despite the loot I put everything on the line for, I still died. Game 77, I got the tall building all to myself. Like I've said before, this is a great way to start a match. Even better when you kill a guy. Final circle ended up being in Lonely Lodge, and I played pretty well. 3 guys in the final circle, you know how I feel about that, so I took the liberty of killing this dyer with my minigun to make it a 1v1. But almost immediately after the only other guy in the match started firing, I backed up into the storm and died. He had no kills, no! Game 78 was extremely uneventful. First guy I killed was this one, and I got him with my plane. Honestly, just want to get this one over with. It hurts me. I missed the first shot, which could have killed him, built up, and then I missed the second shot as well. I'll probably have one more shot, but I'll miss that one too and lose the game. Second place, again. Stop. Who knows, maybe this white ice king will give me a little more intimidation. This is a message to all you kids out there that don't have a lot to live for. Just give up, I need loot, I gotta keep going. Yeah, but this time I didn't get that far. I did a little bit better in game 80. That is, I got a little bit luckier. Then I grabbed a quad crasher and left. Tilted is in a bowl surrounded by mountains, but right around Tilted Towers there's tons of loot, like the stadium. And in Season 7, you could get planes in the space between these 2 mountains. I've showed this before in other videos, but one of my favorite things to do with the planes is boost through a structure and get out. The enemy player will think you're still flying away, and that's when you shoot them. This guy just took out with a good old-fashioned rocket. The circle was closing in around Tilted Towers, and for once I thought I had a pretty good chance. I knew the other player was low on HP, so I made him fall off his structure, and when he tried to build back up, he locked himself inside the storm. He died, I won, and default danced on his body. I did literally the exact same thing in the next game. Got decent loot and left. I didn't go far, I just went over to the stadium. Nice place to come for some loot. I will say 80 games in Tilted Towers has definitely made me a better player. I'm much better on the sticks. We'll skip to the end. Everyone was scared of the White Ice King. Though what they didn't know was that my health was low, so I was playing a little bit conservatively. This Sergeant Winter and I were both on low health. It was gonna come down to the last shot inside this 1x1. And I got it. That would be back-to-back wins at Tilted Towers. Oh no, the win streak ain't over. Welcome to Game 82. At this time, the Infinity Blade was in the game, and no one really knew exactly how to use the thing. Thankfully, this time the Mythic Sword was wielded by a default. He had no idea how to use it, and I won my 3rd game in a row.
Every time I'm leaving on you, you don't make it easy.
However, there was absolutely no glory in Game 83. Game 84, it's pretty hard for you to understand how awesome I was doing in this particular game, but it's pretty easy to understand why I was so upset when I died! Game 85, I got down first, and taught this man a lesson. I was upset from that last game, so I went on a shooting spree. But seeing little defaulties romping around in the wild just puts a smile on my face. Though for some reason I was severely low on assault rifle ammo like the whole game, I don't know why. The storm was about to move, I wouldn't have lasted much longer here. I'm really getting better though. Made it to the end of game 86 as well. I was in a metal structure in the highest point of the map with rockets and a gold scar. But I didn't build a back wall, and I died. That was dumb. 100% preventable. Coming here 100 times definitely made me better, even if I didn't do well every single game. But in this game I did pretty well. Final circle out on the ice where Greasy Grove used to be. I got guns and materials, but no health. I also have to push towards the other guy, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult. Yeah, and this one you can tell how upset I was by how fast I went back to that loading screen. Game 88 was going great. I had a grappler, which allows you to get around Tilted Towers so fast. My drop was a little off in game 89, but I had a grappler, so I could move around pretty quickly. This guy found out about my speed the hard way. But I've told you before, you gotta get out of Tilted before something like this happens. Don't stay too long. Game 90, I went for one of the big towers, and I got all the loot. I was even able to kill a guy for more loot. The stink bombs, they come in clutch. No one expects them. They think they have the high ground, and then boom, they gotta move. This was the first time I had killed the sword carrier, so I picked it up and tried my best with it. It wasn't in the game long, but 75 damage per swing, and I think you get 50 on health? Oh, and you can build with it too. That's crazy. I figured this thing would be getting nerfed, so I didn't have a lot of practice with it, obviously. Oh well, every default has his day. Game 91, another game where I got the big building all to myself. In fact, I looted quite a lot of tilted towers without incident. My first kill was on this guy, who built up a little bit too tall. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do anyway. I was attacked by a Ragnarok, wielding the sword. Thankfully, he wasn't very good with it, and I was able to kill him. But I guess I'm not that good with it either. Game 92, I recognized someone doing the stair trick on me. Unfortunately, I missed my shot, and he was a default. Game 93, let's put on the White Ice King, go for another win. I looted huge portions of tilted towers, and no one bothered me. This is probably the cheesiest plane win I have. It's a 1v1 final circle. I'm way up in the sky. So I flew my plane directly into his structure, knowing I would distract him. Even though it took me a second to get out, I still hit the perfect shotgun blast to win the game. Game 94 started well. I killed a purple Omega. However, I was later killed by the power of pink. Game 95, it looks like there's a ton of people going to tilted, but this is actually pretty average. I was low on health. My stink grenades bought me a little bit of time, but this player was relentless, and he knew I was super low. One more time with Toxic Trooper, we can do it. Caught this guy slipping in the middle, not sure why anyone ever goes there. I was attacked by a burnout with the Raven backpack. I couldn't let him live with that combination. I'm serious about those stink bombs though. There's a sweat behind this tree, but one stink bomb and he loses all sense of logic. His brain shuts off, he goes into frenzy, and I kill him. Let's skip to the end, why not? Me and one other guy, as you can obviously see. He had rockets, so things were a little complicated. I tried to run away, but he got a pretty clever rocket jump on me, which took away most of my health. The other player knew I was low, but that storm was coming and I was ahead of him. I popped the wall at it, which delayed his movement, and that storm told me exactly when he was gonna move. So I jumped out, hit the shot, and won the game. This is good. This is very, very good. Game 97, I used my green pump to clean up the streets of tilted towers and collect some of my own loot along the way, but you want to be careful because other players are going to try to get some action too. Good thing I'm good with green pump. Oh, and here, yes, I kinda, sorta got the trap kill. I mean, he had full health, so it didn't totally kill him. I had to shotty him, but still. Good for me! Though in the end, I got sniped out of a plane. I deserve to be dead. Game 98, you can tell I perfectly ruined this guy's plan. Hopefully he dies. I made it all the way to the spire outside Salty Springs and sprained my ankle, but I found a chug jug, so it was fine. This was the first man I killed. I pretty much kept my nose clean, but I kinda got caught up under this guy's structure, and yeah, I'm on really low health with no healing items. I should've took the launch pad. It was my only way out. I gave it a good go, but I knew I would never really live this zipline ride. Game 99, I dropped L's. Even though it doesn't have the most loot, it's still one of the best drops in tilted towers. I got great loot, didn't even have to kill anybody. I'm sneaky. There wasn't too much action until the final circle. It was outside where risky reels used to be. I think if I had a little bit more mats, I could have ran on these guys a little bit better. That storm was moving quickly, and I had to run straight behind them. I died, but I probably should have killed both of these guys. Game 100 at Tilted Towers. What a sight here. This is great. Monumental. I dropped onto this building. I don't know, I don't really know what to call it. I didn't really talk about it all that often. It's not that great either, so don't come here. My first encounter, I got a little lucky with that headshot and sprayed him down. I didn't really have to kill this guy. I didn't even plan on looting him, but I did. So I left Tilted. Guns, fair, hope, eh. The final circle was closing in around Tilted Towers, so I trapped up one of these cabin teleporters. The final circle was closing in around Tilted Towers, so I trapped up one of these cabin teleporters. And it ended up working tremendously. That circle's getting real small, and I used all of my rockets trying to kill the only other player in the lobby. At least he still thought I had rockets, so he was sitting in cover. I tried to end the man with my green pump, but it only did 17 damage. I was gifted a second pump shot, it only did 42. So I went high above the canopy, where maybe I would have some hope. He was smart. He knew to take out my structure now before it got too big. The best I could do was jump from branch to branch as the storm encroached upon me. I fell, died, and lost the game. Oh well, sort of fitting, I guess. The drops are done, but now it's time for some statistics. First, I just want to show that dropping Tilted Towers 100 times did make me a little bit better. Throughout these 100 drops, my average place increased the entire time. My kills increased as well. I was able to get almost double the kills per game by the end of these 100 drops. The basketball court ended up being my most common drop, though I think that's mostly just because of the Christmas tree in Season 7. Though it is important to remember that you're better off going to the tall buildings in Tilted Towers. They have much more loot. And I do want to give a little shout out to the L's. I like going there too. too. These drops were definitely difficult. There were some very hard moments, but it made me a better Fortnite player in the end, and I think it can for you too. Dropping Tilted Towers 100 times was definitely a huge milestone for me, but this is not the end of 100 drops. I will have more for you, don't worry. And I do want to thank everyone out there that has watched 100 drops, 20 drops, all the Fortnite videos, everything that I've done. Guys, just so much support. Thank you all so much. Really, I appreciate it. And by this time, you know you can support me with every V-Buck purchase by using code LukeTheNotable in any Fortnite shop. But that really is it for the video now. Thank you all for watching.
Kinda forgot that was streaming. My bad. Hey, what's up?
It sends.
I'm streaming, bro, so family friendly.
Friendly.
I'm about to play some Fortnite because I just watched this video about this guy landing Tilted Towers 100 times, and it said that it made him better. So I'm gonna try.
His bad games.
Bop.
Up.
Not the plus. Bop.
For your delays.
Bop. What do you mean?
Your delay.
What?
Your delay. You have delay, man. That's so long.
I don't really care. Did you fix your delay?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I was in the middle of renaming something.
So my delay is only like 1 second.
Huh.
Yours is 9 seconds, I counted.
Huh.
Yours is 10.
I'm gonna change it to 5 seconds.
Why?
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 Because I can.
Why? Why?
Because I can, kid.
Why not 1 second? Why not 0 seconds? Why?
So because my problem is here that I need to actually use the go live button.
I'm trying to look on how to make sock plushies, man.
Sock play?
It's where you make a plush out of socks.
I get what it is, but why?
Is this cheaper?
Hey, okay, I'm actually on. So, boys, so what? How you change delay?
Because what if they don't have those plushies?
How you change delay, kid?
I don't know. I forgot.
What do you mean you forgot? The game's trash. Oh, my thing's still on the black screen. No, it's not. Okay. I am just gonna close out Google, and cause it's gonna be super laggy. Yo, Jacob, I'm gonna call you on my phone.
Why?
Because I don't feel like dealing with lag right now.
Keep it.
Hello.
What is up?
What is it, midgets? When I swear, if you froze again.
What?
I think Fortnite froze again.
Hmm?
I think Fortnite froze again. Hello?
Hello?
I think Fortnite froze again. And now it's getting annoying. Fortnite froze again. Hold up, I haven't. Hold up. Play Store. Fortnite is annoying. Okay. What's it called? Discord. Actually, that's a little work. Well, I have a better idea. I have my onesie, right? And I'm trying to put my phone in my hoodie. Did it, boys. Wheeze, boys. What do you mean? Fortnite keeps friggin' freezing. I gotta restart my computer again. Be right back, boys.